So today we're going to talk more about the ESFJ, the Compassionate Coordinator in the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. So keep listening to learn more about how these folks show up at work, some core traits, some three ways to leverage your strengths if you're an ESFJ, one stretch opportunity, and then three ways that we can support our friends, loved ones, and coworkers who are ESFJs. So first, big picture in the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, ESFJs are first, of course, extroverted. We talk about that as being solar powered, so needing something in the outside world to be able to bounce their energy off of. It can also look like talking out their thoughts or externally processing as well. So, reminder for any extrovert, their first thought might not be their last thought. So, they might need to talk through a little bit to be able to get to what they're thinking. So that's extrovert. Second letter in the ESFJ profile is sensing, and so that can look it's S, so that can look like detail oriented, specific, really focused on the present or past. What have we done before? And then thinking about yeah, detail oriented, chronological, specific, focus on the present, the here and now, really grounded and rooted in the present. That third letter of feeling is, of course, we all think, we all feel, but if you think about someone with an F in their profile in Myers-Briggs, they first want to think about the impact on people as well as their values and how their values might show up in the things that they do. And then that last letter is J, so that stands for judging. It does not mean that they're judgmental necessarily, but it looks like wanting closure more quickly. So looking at the environment as decisions to be made rather than options to be explored. So ESFJs, extrovert, sensing, feeling, and judging in their profile. Core traits of folks with ESFJ preferences is they're often very warm, very social, and reliable. So responsible, reliable, social, warm, empathetic. And so workplace strengths can look like team coordination. So again, detail oriented, they've got the S and the J in their profile. Detail oriented can really be excited about team coordination, but relationship building can really be a strength of theirs. And then dependability, so that responsible, dependable person who really wants to have an impact in the world. Some famous ESFJs, potentially based on how they show up and their communication that we see, are Jennifer Garner, one of my favorite actresses, the artist Logic, who's a rapper, Selena Gomez, also a credible actress, and then Hugh Jackman. We all love him in so many roles. So potentially based on their extrovertedness and the way they show up in the world and the way they communicate, those are some folks who might be ESFJs. If you're an ESFJ, we're going to give you some tips to be able to really bring out your energy and like stay energized. So you probably love, harmony, heart, and hustle. And first tip is to be able to really lean into relationships. So I'm guessing you're really energized about relationships. People can be your fuel, so make sure that you have that time to connect. No matter what your role is, no matter what's going on in your role, make sure you build in that time to connect because that can really help to energize you, and it's a great thing to be able to be at your best. A second tip is to stick to your structure. So you're probably like pretty routine oriented. Having those routines and structure can help you feel more grounded and in control, even when there's a million different priorities that you're balancing. And make sure that you own that and that you stick to the structure that you create, have those routines that make you feel grounded and in control. And then a third tip is to make sure that you take care of yourself. So oftentimes you might put others first really naturally, but don't forget your own needs. You really need to take care of yourself as well. So be in tune with how you're doing and make sure you build in that time to take care of yourself. So again, lead into relationships, stick to your structure, and take care of yourself as well. A stretch opportunity for ESFJs is to let go of needing everyone's approval. That can be a struggle sometimes for us. And so make sure that you just try. I know it's hard to kind of imagine, but try to let go of everybody's approval. Have those limits, have those boundaries so that you can stay energized and show up for the people you really care about most and for the things you care about most. If you work with an ESFJ, we're going to give you a few tips to be able to keep your teammates energized, right? So first tip is to be kind and collaborative. So ESFJs often thrive in harmony and connection. Remember that relationship is really important to them. So that's great. We can bring that to work. We can really use that as a superpower at work. So just make sure that you help them have harmony, help them have connection, be kind and collaborative so that you can do work together really well. When that tension happens, like go ahead and honestly talk through it in a nice, trusting, kind way so that you can be able to navigate that conflict together. The second tip is to say thank you. That really works for all of us, but especially for ESFJs, people who are really people oriented. Acknowledge their specific contribution. So not just thank you, period, but thank you for the specific things they're contributing. Contributing can really help them feel seen, help build that trust, and really keep them motivated moving forward. Just remember again that relationships can really be some of their fuel. So saying thank you and acknowledging the work and the contribution that they have can really help fuel their motivation. A third tip is to help give them structure. So if you think back to when we talked about ESFJs and what helps them feel strong, like help them be able to lean into the routine and the structure that they have. They can often really shine when things are organized and predictable. That routine for SJs can be really important. So make sure that you help provide some structure in the workplace. Of course, things change a lot if you're in a world like education, the medical field, etc., that's fast moving, people oriented. Like things are going to change a lot, and that's okay. So it's important to be honest that there's shifts that will happen, but help to bring them some structure and routine, no matter what industry you're in, can really go a long way. If you are a fan of the DISC system, or if you know about DISC or you want to know more about DISC, we think there are some overlaps between Myers-Briggs and DISC. They're both based on the work of Carl Jung, trying to, with folks trying to help us learn more about his work. And so the DISC system looks more at what behaviors people show. So ESFJs often tend toward high I in the DISC, which looks like influence, as well as S, which is steadiness. So again, really people-centered, really people-oriented, friendly, supportive, people focused. That I can be like enthusiasm, like lots of enthusiasm in the world, maybe out front and center, whereas the S is a more like behind the scenes way to look at it, but they're both very people oriented in that when we look at the DISC system. So hopefully that's helpful. We love to help people lean into how they build trust, how they build communication, how they work together better, retain staff, navigate conflict. So if you want to learn more, please reach out to us at www.kjconsultinggroup.com. We do individual coaching, we do group coaching, workshops, whatever it is that you're looking for, we can help support you to be able to build that trust, build that connection, and to navigate conflict. So please reach out. Thanks.